Hello there, it's Mr. H speaking. Thanks for downloading the Bedhoppers podcast. Unfortunately, we had a bad bit of news over the last week or so, and Mrs. H's father was taken into hospital with a stroke. Since then, he's been battling pneumonia, and we've been in and out of hospital for the last week or so. It's been really difficult, and we'd really like to thank everybody for all of their support, especially our lifestyle friends, for helping us, getting in touch, sending us things in the post. You've all been absolutely incredible, and we really love and welcome your support. We know it's a difficult time for us, and we're not quite sure how we're handling things yet or what the future's going to hold. With that in mind, we actually recorded this episode well before all this happened. And really, it's our 50th. It's our 50th episode, and we're really proud of how many things we've done over the last couple of years. So we wanted to make sure that we release this on time and share it with you. Now, unfortunately, that will mean that this episode is a little bit rough and tumble. We recorded it, we've edited it in hospital rooms, true story, and we're putting it out today. So we apologise if it's a little bit rough and a little bit ramshackle, but then it's us. We also didn't say on the podcast, thank you to our guests. So thank you, Kiwi and Sherry, for coming and having a wonderful time with us and taking part in the podcast. So I don't think we actually mentioned that on the show. So apologies. Normally we've added this in at the end, but we felt that we wanted to give you this update right at the start. So just to let you all know that we're doing okay, but it is very difficult at the moment. So if we're not on social media, if we're not replying to your messages, then hopefully you can understand why. Without further ado then, let's roll the tapes. Not that there's really tapes, this is a digital thing that I'm editing into the start, but you didn't really need to know that. But thank you to everyone that's been in touch. Thank you for all your support, and hopefully things will be a little bit more normal moving forwards. Thank you.
Excuse me, miss. What's that you're listening to?
Well, it's a podcast. It's all about this couple from England who are in a lifestyle, and they talk about their adventures.
So is that child-friendly then, is it?
No. They say lots of naughty things, and they swear a lot. But would you like to listen?
Wait, what? Pokemon, Yoko, wait, the condoms, flying metal, death sausage, on it like a tramp on chips, Babylon's hot as balls, I can't back that up at all, but, this is just the tip, drinking with our chums all night, we can't ever get it right, doing shots and cutting hair, honey butt and underwear, we didn't write the music, but we tried to play it and we did abuse it, we've done 50 shows now, but we're quite excited, we won't try to hide it.
Finn and Emma, SDU, Bob and Nikki are friends too. By the by, stopping by and sitting on our lap.
Lolo, lady, gentleman, Kiwi, Sherry, Rich, Lauren, swinging out west, Simon, Slut, Mr. Kitty is our cat. Naughty Rocket still to do, this is why we welcome you. Labyrinth and Bumblebee, there's so much for you to see. We didn't write the music, but we tried to play it and we did abuse it. We've done 50 shows now, we're quite excited, we won't try to hide it. Muppets, Fraggles, Yoda sick, we are on a health kick.
Shunda Muffin, special brew, finger blasting, bite marks too.
Silly voices playing games, getting much that isn't named. Body crisis, new tattoo, Mr. H is yours to bruise. So many things that we have seen, nobody has this clever been. It's getting hard for this to run, no wonder that it's hopping time. We didn't write the music, but we tried to play it and we did abuse it. We've done 50 shows now, but we're quite excited, we won't try to hide it.
Welcome to episode 50! It's only episode fucking 50 of the Bedhoppers podcast. I'm a little bit excited. Are you a little bit excited?
I'm Mrs. H, but I'm also excited.
Oh, I'm Mr. H. That's who I am today.
You could be forgiven for thinking you were one of the Muppets.
Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Mr. H of the Bedhoppers. Woo! Yay! Welcome. Thank you for downloading our show. We are here today to talk about some cool stuff.
Yeah, loads of cool stuff.
You don't even know what stuff
No,
we're
I
talking
know.
about.
I'm just assuming it was going to be golden.
Yeah, it's always gold. It's clearly gold. Well, today we have got an interview.
Ooh.
We've got some special guests.
Okay. Are they Muppets?
No, they are not
right.
Muppets. I don't think we'd call them Muppets at all.
Okay, definitely not.
They're too sexy to be Muppets.
And I'm celebrating the 50th episode by drinking some champagne.
But generally you have champagne in your hands.
Well, I'm celebrating everything.
Oh, really? A reason to celebrate everything, ever.
You know, life's too short not to celebrate with a glass of champers.
Life's a happy song.
This is a very Muppety theme.
I'm a very Muppety person.
Are you a man or a Muppet?
This could be a long debate here.
Yeah, it could be.
It could be a mass debate.
Ooh.
Ooh, cheeky.
Hold, please.
Well, this will be interesting actually. So we've got that. We've got we've put together the 50 things that we've learned from doing our actually we've done 5 each. We were going to do 50, and that felt like a fucking ball ache.
Could you honestly say you've learned 50 things though?
I have not learned one thing.
Exactly.
I was really scraping the barrel when I pulled my 5 together. But you've done 5 as well, right?
I have, and they are all absolutely golden pieces of
Nuggets? Are they
nuggets.
nugs?
They're nugs. They're chicken nugs.
Chicken nugs.
Yeah.
Chicken nugs of delight.
They're pearls of wisdom.
Really?
Yeah. From what
okay.
I have gathered over
Pearl
the
necklaces
years.
of wisdom.
That's quite different, dear.
Really? Okay. So things that we have learned over the last year.
Yes.
So there's that. We've got special guests.
Yeah.
Which will be cool. And this is
Okay,
cool. This is
yeah.
going to be funny. I hope. Or it could be terrible. Or it could be sexy. It could be a whole combination of
This
these
is
things.
going to be at my expense, no doubt.
It may be. So I have penned a piece of erotica.
Is that a loose term or is it genuinely erotic?
Well, I'm not sure. Actually, the thing was, I started writing it, and it ended up being, I think, better than I anticipated. And I couldn't bring myself to use some of the words that I wanted to use and get you to say.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? Yeah, so
You are using some of my least favourite words. Is this correct?
there's a couple in there. There's not a terrible amount, but ultimately what I wanted to do was get you to use some of those words, but also...
Why?
Because it's fun and I enjoy it.
Is this some therapy session for me?
Well, the thing is that we don't ever really talk about sexy times.
Well, we do, but not in a sexual way.
In a sexy, really.
In a pornographic way.
In a pornographic way. So we're gonna solve that for episode 50. We have a naughty story, what has been written by me, Mr. H, the Bedhoppers Muppets
My God.
podcast.
And I have not seen this.
This is genuinely true. Mrs. H has not seen this story, so hang in there. And
You talking to me or the listeners?
well, everyone,
Strap
can
yourselves in.
strap yourselves on. And I'm going to unveil this piece of art, literature. Those may be two grandiose terms. This one-page document, what I have created not half an hour ago, to give to you to read out. But first, before we do that, what have we been up to? Oh, who have we been up to?
Who have we been up
Who have we
to?
into? Who have been knuckles deep in?
Well, we met some more lovely people.
We did.
What listened to our show
What did we do last week?
last week?
Yeah.
Oh, I can barely remember last night, let alone last week.
Really? You've forgotten last week already?
Yeah. What did we do last week?
Can you not remember?
Probably, but now I'm so nervous about this erotica.
I can't remember what we did last week. This is really bad.
Wow. Okay, it was probably awesome.
It was really cool. Definitely,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And apologies if it was you that we met last week. We're very, very sorry.
No, it was blinding.
I'm sure we did something.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, what did we do this week?
Well, this week we had some very exciting eclectic cocktails.
Oh, yeah. So we went to Winchester, didn't we?
Winchester.
Winchester.
Did we go to the Winchester and wait for it all to blow over?
Yes, we did. So we went to a place called... we went to the Black Rat.
That was amazing.
Which, this was just us two at this point, wasn't it? We weren't meeting anybody at that
Food
point.
was banging.
It was fucking amazing. We spent a fortune,
Yeah, but it was so worth it.
but it was awesome. So if you're in Winchester, we recommend that you go there.
Yeah.
And be prepared to
gastronomic
Yeah.
experience.
You will blow a wad of cash.
Yeah, but your taste buds will thank you for
But if you
it.
take your partner to it, then she may blow you afterwards. So good is the food. But don't get too full and overcommit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because what would happen then, dear?
Then people would take the piss out of you relentlessly for months on end.
You mean you'd be too full to accept some roadside fellatio?
This did not happen on that night. I'm glad to say I was able to power on through.
Oh, what a hero.
Not that there was any roadside ahead at all, actually. What
I'm
happened
sorry.
there? And then we went to Incognito,
Yes.
which is it's a mad cocktail place in Winchester.
very eclectic.
It's very hipster or hopster,
Yeah,
as we
so
might use.
that should really suit you.
And it was fantastic. You had to book to go there. And you ordered a cocktail, and they came out with like a fairground ride that had lights that spun around.
Props.
It was lots of props, and there's hats on the table, and
It was there was all sorts of weird portraits of animals wearing sort of uniforms.
it was very strange. But you know what was better than the cocktails? The people we met there.
Oh.
Smooth, right?
Yeah.
Hello,
Do you want
people.
to describe these lovely people?
Not
Not literally, because we want to preserve our anonymity.
They both had 2 arms and 2 legs and faces.
limbs.
Yeah.
brilliant.
They,
Yeah.
they were of a good level of attractiveness, both.
They were human.
Yeah, with good senses of humours.
They were very lovely.
They were very lovely. They'll know who they
Yeah.
are.
Well, I hope so.
We'll give them like a TripAdvisor review at some point soon. But it was very nice to meet some listeners, and they were fantastic.
And they enjoyed the mad nature of these cocktails too, I think.
I don't think they enjoyed the amount that they cost, though. That would be the
No,
other thing.
me neither.
It
But
was an expensive night.
There's a lot of oohing and ahhing over the little props
Over
that
me.
came out.
Mostly me.
No.
Look at
it
him.
wasn't over you.
Isn't he amazing? Oh, he's great. At least that's how I saw the world.
Okay.
Okay, so we did that.
Yes.
And then where did we go last night?
Ooh, last night we went and checked
What was that
out-
noise?
I don't know. A little... Oh, I am a little Zoidberg today, actually.
You are a little bit. You
Yeah.
sat out in the garden for 45 minutes yesterday and you were bright pink.
I know.
You were like
Yeah.
radioactive. But what was really funny is that the top of your leg was boiling hot, but the back of your leg was freezing cold where you sat in the sun. So clearly you'd put a bit too much effort into the whole sun thing.
Fine. Well, I took my hot pink legs
Hot pink legs.
and we visited a club
A club.
called AbFabs.
We did. We're going to do a review on it at some point.
do a proper review on it because
but
it's too big to talk about now.
It is. It was an interesting place.
Yes.
We stayed in a hotel next door.
Literally next door.
Literally.
You couldn't be any closer if you
No,
tried.
if we were any closer, you could have fallen out of bed and rolled into the club. It was an interesting place, and I think we've got a bit of thoughts to go through on our evening there,
Yeah.
and some interesting feedback. So overall, it was okay. It was nice enough, I think. So if you do have it on the list of places to go and that you're going to be going there soon, I wouldn't worry or panic about that. It's actually fine, and
It's definitely worth a visit.
definitely worth a visit. I think there's some stuff they could do to improve it. But
Yeah.
equally, this isn't that show. We're not talking about that today. We're going to do this. Probably going to be episode 52, I think,
All right.
because we've got 51 already in the bag, right?
Yeah.
We've done it. It is a hot wifing special with
How
all some
exciting.
special hot wives.
Yeah.
So that'll be our next one. So probably the one after that, we'll actually talk a bit
Yeah.
about AbFabs and.
And we'll do it justice and give it a good review.
Yeah, they've got quite an interesting story and background. They were at a different location. They had to close down, all sorts of things that went on. So, you never know. We might actually do a little bit of research and talk about that. If not, we'll just review the club and talk about our night. And that was an interesting night as well, wasn't it?
As ever, there's always a funny story attached.
Well, there's a funny story rate attached to this one, I think. But we'll go into more detail about that. Coming up, we've got, actually, by the time this comes out, we'll have done it. We'll have done a Nottingham social.
Oh, yes, that's exciting.
So we're doing that.
Yeah.
And,
Going to meet lots of new people.
yeah, that'll be cool. I'm looking forward to that. So that's a brand new thing.
Yep.
So we'll have a review of that at some point, probably.
And we are also heading back to our fave place, Vanilla Alternative.
Yes, Vanilla Alternative with some friends.
Okay. Are we allowed to say who the friends
well,
are?
we haven't checked in with those
All right.
specific
Let's keep them
friends.
hanging for now then.
Well, I love to keep them hanging. But they are not in any shape or form hanging.
Oh, no, they are. I love
Unless they were drinking last night, and I don't think they were.
Unlikely, so
No.
they're probably in pretty good shape right now.
Yeah, I reckon so. But they're always in pretty good shape. Anyway, so that's what we got coming up, and that's a bit about what we're talking about today. So we've done more talking about what we're going to talk about than we actually are going to talk about the stuff that we're going to talk about.
That's because you love talking, dear.
Talk.
Hence, we've got to episode 50.
Yes, that's right. I'm still on the very first date that we went on. So one of the things we felt, because it's episode 50 and a bit special to us, one that we were amazed that we put that much effort in, but also that we've made it this far, is that we look at some things that we've learned over the last year or so and talk a bit about them. Now we've scuttled off to a corner each and written 5 things down. So these could be 5 things. They could be 10 things. Or there may be just, levels of repeat.
We may be very joined up and have similar things.
We
I'd
may
be
do.
surprised if some of them do not kind of join up a little
You
bit.
might have looked over at my
I haven't, I promise.
at my MacBook and copied what I wrote down.
That'd be ridiculous. I wouldn't go near a MacBook.
You've just written as above. What he said. It's exactly what he said. It's the same
Worded
thing.
better.
So, do you want to go first? Do you want to go the first one?
Oh, can I?
Yes, you can.
How exciting.
But only if I can go second.
All right, cool. All right. So the first thing that I have learned,
Mm-hmm.
never assume that things will pan out as you expect.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
So what I mean by that is I think in your head you always have a level of expectation about what it is you're going to do, who you're going to see, the venue you're going to, whatever it is that you've kind of in your head, as you've probably Batmaned your way through it in advance, but you always do have some kind of idea of what something's going to look like.
Yep.
Yeah. And what I've learned is it's rare that things ever really match up to what's actually in your head. Sometimes it's in a good way, and the experience can be actually quite different but better.
Well, are you trying to set listeners up for the immense letdown of actually meeting us? Things never go as you plan in your head. They never.
I have just learned that things don't really ever turn out the way you think they're going to. So in a way, it's almost not pointless, but sometimes you should just save yourself all the soul searching and the worrying and just go with the flow, because it's never quite what you think it's going to be.
Very true. Well, you should expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Which
Absolutely.
I think is some lyrics to Tiny Toon Adventures.
Okay.
The lyrics
As
are
ever.
rejected, expect the unexpected.
Random segue as ever with you, dear.
Well, it would be rude not to, really. Okay, shall I go next?
Follow it up with your number 2.
Never, ever, ever, ever,
Oh, God.
ever, ever deny Roadhead.
Oh my God. You have learned an exceedingly useful lesson.
I know.
Yes.
I know.
Because people will just laugh at you.
They laugh at me anyway.
Forever.
Not with me, but at me. So, I think my important thing is actually...
Dear.
it's
Or
a bit of
maybe
a-
the better lesson is never eat too much pizza.
Well, this is really a metaphor for, clearly, for embracing the moment and making the most of the moment that you've got. Because you don't know when that moment will pass and everyone will berate you for months and
Unless
months
the
on end.
moment is a ginormous pizza and it then prevents you from enjoying
Yeah,
some
don't
roadside
embrace-
fellatio.
Yeah, don't embrace too much pizza. That's the wrong thing to do. What you should do is stash pizza away for your post-Roadhead munchies.
Right, yeah.
There is this show does not guarantee Roadhead at any point.
It is good advice.
It's very good advice. All right, then.
Alternatively, take some indigestion remedies with you.
always jog for a mile after eating.
Hold on, let me just pop one of these Rennies in my mouth. And I'll be good to go.
Always take a big poop before you get in the car. All right then, come
Excellent advice.
on. Thank you.
Fine. Okay, my next one. Never take one for the team or expect your partner to do that either.
Ooh, that's a good thought.
Yeah.
That's a very good thought. And I don't think we've really done that, have we? Have we taken one for the team?
I don't think it's so much that we ever have, but I think
maybe we have a little bit.
I think it's probably more that we've had some really difficult conversations at the time around what do we do, and what's always been the common denominator is never take one for the team. It's not fair on them. It's not fair on you. It's not fair on your partner. And ultimately, why would you bother being in a situation if one of you's not going to get anything from it?
No, that's true. And I think this is tied into something for me. This is around, actually, relationships evolve and change. And one of our learnings over the last couple of months, actually, is that nothing ever stays the same. And actually, it's okay for a relationship to move on or to change or to have a different dynamic. And that is ever evolving. It doesn't mean that it doesn't go back to different things, but actually it can mean that sometimes people move from pants off to pants on to all this type of stuff. Not just that, but the dynamics between relationships change quite significantly. Yeah. So yeah, I'd add that into the same sort of pit or the same bucket.
You can't add me into a bucket.
I can.
All right.
Fine. All right, I'll go with mine.
What's your next learning?
My next learning over the last year or so is don't drink too much. Especially in clubs. And what we've also learned is alcohol is not a good way to calm down.
Oh my goodness. So is it fair that I can add my number 3 in here because it's very similar?
Is it?
So it's probably worth wrapping them up in the same one.
Well, if I can just finish talking about this one first, in a little way.
Wait, you'll need a good hour to cover this one, dear.
Well, I think, we've all had experiences. Certainly we've even talked about ones. In fact, our last episode talked a bit about why alcohol as a calming measure didn't really work. Mm-hmm. And one of our experiences quite recently was with some friends. They had some issues and they were going to be late. And when they rocked up, they did drink quite a bit, didn't they? And they knocked back some drinks. And I've been there. I've been pissed off about something not going right, and I've knocked back the drinks. And
As a leveller.
As a leveller, yeah. And I think, we were a little bit more wise on that front. Not brilliant, but we're a little bit more wary of that in that situation of just turning immediately to the bottles rather than just sorting out your head first.
So some coping mechanisms other than turning to booze would help.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and that could go for any number of other substances, really. But mainly drink, I find, because, if you're pissed off and you arrive at a scene and your way of calming down is to neck a drink or two, actually that starts you off on a quite difficult path, I think. And, having been there myself on a couple of occasions, it's my learning is don't do that. Don't do what Mr. H did. Do what he says, apparently.
Amazing.
Go on then, what's your number 3?
Well, my number 3 was everything is good in moderation.
Ah, that's true. Like me, I'm amazing in moderation.
So it's so true though. I mean, it can be useful to use some of these things that you rely on to kind of put you in a good mood or to settle some nerves, give you a bit of Dutch courage, or whatever it is that you're turning to use as your coping mechanism is fine. But actually, it's so easy to tip the balance and just go too far.
Oh, yes.
And then spoil it for yourself.
Oh, yes. I mean,
and that's a shame.
But what's interesting is it's not always us that does that. No. We've witnessed this from the other side as well.
It's not always us that fucks up.
No, which is quite fantastic. Shall I go next?
Please.
Okay. I love my wife, but she has no concept of technology, like editing a show. But somehow she can manage to play Pokemon even if she's upside down underwater and being dragged through a hedge.
Wow.
Yeah. So that my learning is that if I come up with a brilliant concept, and I know it's rare, where I'm like, wow, this would be great to do a new song or write something different or write a piece or do this. The reality is that means I have to go and fucking do it. And if you come up with an idea, that means I have to go and fucking do it. So
what is your learning?
My learning
What, don't involve your wife?
Yeah, is I might as well just do it myself anyway in the first place. If it has anything to do with technology.
If a job's worth doing,
you might as well do it yourself. Yeah, exactly that. And I think when it comes to editing the show or anything to do with the technological stuff that sits in the background, or even quite often the philosophical stuff that sits in the background, that's best chucking me at that.
I add value in my own way.
Yeah, you do. And you are amazing. And I prefixed it all with the fact that I love you dearly.
Aww.
But I would not trust you on my MacBook trying to edit the show.
Oh, me neither.
It would be like Keyboard Cat all over again.
This is good advice.
Yeah,
However, you can't speak for other people's wives. They may be an absolute whiz on a keyboard.
Well, I guess it's about knowing your strength.
Okay.
And if we're going to break it down into
play to each other's strengths.
Play to each other's strengths. And you're
you
a
won't
team
even play
together.
bloody Pokemon with me, so you're not playing to my strength, are you?
Well, your strength is playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
My strength is not.
Fine. Let's move on. Okay. My next one is all the P's. P. So, yeah.
Go on.
Prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Okay.
And by that, I mean, it really helps to sort your shit out before you embark on something. A bit of forward planning, if you can, is really, really useful. That said, it's always good to have some random, really exciting kind of let's just go and see what happens. But if you know you're going somewhere and you know you're doing it and you know you're going to put some effort into getting the best from your experience, it's probably best to give it a bit of foreplanning.
A bit of foreplay.
Giving yourself enough time to enjoy it, giving yourself enough time to decide what you're taking, what you're going, just forward planning.
I think, a bit of foreplay often helps. And I think all too often we've kind of overthought stuff at the beginning, but actually it's always been useful doing that. And sometimes we've seen people turn up without having any thought or having had any discussions. And quite often that's a lot worse than having overthought at the beginning and over worried.
Absolutely.
So
that applies to even the concept, the discussions, all of that, as well as the practical stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree. Okay.
Thank you.
My learning, right, is that meeting listeners is absolutely fucking awesome. Hearing from them is super cool. And that meeting our podcasting and blogging brethren is equally as cool.
That's very lovely.
I know. That's my learning. I mean, I can't add much more beyond that, although I'll try because naturally I'm going to talk regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I think universally the messages we've had, the interactions, the meetings, the people that we've spoken to and Skyped. It's been fantastic. And actually it's been really good to connect with all those people, and just really, that's all through the show. And if we achieve nothing else, and we really don't, actually just meeting those people and being part of that community is fab.
I like that.
I thought you would.
That's made me all tingly.
Has it? You just wait until you start reading this thing that I wrote.
And it's interesting because my last one is probably in a similar kind of vein. It's enjoy the unexpected bonuses. So for me, I wasn't expecting to take such value out of some of the experiences we've had. And I don't necessarily mean sexual encounters. I mean what you've just referred to with all the meeting of people. I had no idea that it would be so fulfilling to have all these interactions and take such value from them. So for me, it's enjoy it. Like, enjoy the little things, because they're the things that you'll treasure and you'll take away and remember.
Yeah, that's true, actually. And those are those little moments. And
Yeah.
it's quite funny, really, because we had we got back from the club at about 3 last night.
Yeah.
And we found that some of our friends that live across the world were awake.
Yeah, due to the handy time difference.
The handy time difference. So
which normally scuppers us.
Yeah, exactly. We were able to have a 3-way kick message or video conference.
Lovely.
Which was fab.
I loved that. It really, really rounded off the night for me because it was an unexpected bonus.
Was it me streaking in the background that made
Definitely.
the night? Did that help?
It was entirely that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I like the saucy pictures that we received afterwards.
Well, that was about... See, unexpected bonuses. Enjoy them.
Unexpected bonus.
Well, that was a byproduct of the unexpected bonus.
Exactly. It's circular and circular. Right, okay. Well, I think this is the last one, isn't it?
I've done all mine.
Yeah, I know you've done all yours because you went
Oh,
first.
yes, I did.
Oh, my God.
What's your last one then?
My last one. So mine is actually very, very similarly linked to this. And it's actually, the lifestyle isn't just about our little corner of the world. Everyone does it differently. And one thing that I've learned with the show is that there's so many people out there. There's so many different styles, approaches. I mean, like I said, we've got a Hot Wifers special coming up. That's not our thing. It's not what we're into. But actually, it's been amazing to speak to people that really love doing that and really get a kick out of it. Like BDSM, like poly relationships, all these different things that we've been exposed to through doing the show and being part of this world. And also looking at the different ways that different countries do things, like going to Mexico, looking at Desire, going to Australia. It's amazing, and it's such a big, wide community out there that I actually feel part of something, more. I'm not quite part of the Borg collective.
Not quite.
Not quite.
Although that would be amazing, especially if you look like Patrick Stewart as the Borg.
Or just Patrick Stewart.
What was he, Leviticus? When he was in the Borg episode?
I can't remember.
Maybe.
Locutus.
Yes, Locutus.
Yeah.
That was great. I mean, sorry to take away from your beautiful example, but Patrick Stewart as the Borg.
I've assimilated your comments and bowled them as part of our collective, dear.
Anyway.
All right. You've got some wandering hands going on there.
No, and this is just the sunburn. That's
you're just stroking yourself. Oh, fine. Well, which leads us nicely into our... well, I hope you like that, and I hope that was useful. But we're now going to go into our special pre-special feature, where Mrs. H reads a bit of naughty literature that I've bound together on my Mac.
Cool. Well, let's take a moment. I'll go and prepare, and we'll be right back.
We're not having a moment. We're going to do it now.
What? No.
Why?
Because I need to get into the right...
No. I'm just handing it over.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Nuh-uh.
No. I think you're quite ready to do this. So what I've done is I've got the MacBook in front of me, along with my 420 gloriously written words that I've written. The Mr. H's novella erotique.
Is that its working title, or?
I didn't give it a title because it feels like an unfinished piece of work, much like myself.
It feels like it's going to make me cringe inwardly.
It might be sexy. It might make you twinge inwardly.
I'm nervous.
So Mrs. H has not seen this as yet.
I haven't.
I have typed away on doing this while you were sat there Pokemoning.
It's just going to be a literal lexicon of profanity,
It
and
is.
I'm going to be absolutely mortified at reading these words.
No. I think I'm going to hand this over. There is literally one page of
No,
information. Here you go.
I'm
You ready?
really nervous.
So you got to go. So...
This is really long. That's not the story. She said.
No, that's what she said. Yep.
Oh
so
my
are we
God.
ready? So
No.
Mrs. H is blushing now.
Wait,
but
this,
she's
oh my
no, you've got to
God,
read.
I'm the person starring in the story.
Don't give away the story. This is you.
Oh my
go.
God.
You just got to read it and go with it.
This is filth.
You've got to go with it.
I'm already going red, and that's not just the sunburn.
Okay, right. This.
Jesus Christ, this is really like hardcore.
No,
stuff.
it's not really hardcore stuff. I think you need to read this now. All right.
For
Go on.
fuck's sake. Why are you making me read this?
Go. We haven't got all day.
Okay. Right. Why? Nobody wants to hear this.
They do. I think people want to hear this.
What if I laugh?
What if you laugh? Well, it doesn't matter about that.
Okay, fine.
Would it help if I looked away?
It would help if you left the room and maybe like went and sat in the car or something. And it's gonna be even worse if you like start like jerking off while I'm reading it.
I'm gonna do a zombie shuffle wank right next to you while you're doing this.
No. Oh my God, it's making me embarrassed just reading it.
Just read it out loud. Come on. Stop playing for time.
Fine, if you want some kind of weird pornographic jackanory, then strap yourselves in. Okay, so you don't have a title?
No, it's just what poured out of my head.
Oh my God. Okay. Are we ready?
Are we sitting comfortably, children?
No,
Yes.
I'm not sitting comfortably at all. I'm sitting really uncomfortably. I'm really...
What you can't see, gentle listener, is Mrs. H squirming in a chair, writhing back and forth, attempting to read as much as she can without being embarrassed.
Oh my God. What if I can't read all of this?
You've got to read. You've got this.
It
420.
descends into
No,
madness.
just try and do it.
You know that word is in there that I
Go
don't
on.
like.
Go on.
Oh, fuck. All right. Right. He slipped the headset off and stopped the recording. He breathed a sigh of relief. The show had been a really good one. Mr. H put down his notepad and turned to his wife. She smiled. All of this talk about sex had made her want him. She knew that she was wet. She'd felt the familiar tug as they discussed their last visit to a club, and her mind had raced back to the way he looked as he fucked the wife of a couple they'd swapped with. She hadn't been left empty-handed, though. The lady's husband had a cock to die for, or at the very least choke on. He'd asked if he could slip his fingers inside of her, and she'd agreed readily. When she felt his tongue on her and then his finger slide into her wet pussy, she knew that he would make her come. He quickly started to finger her. Oh my good God. Started to finger her. So what you can't see is he is literally dying next to me from laughter. All right. He quickly started to finger her, circling his tongue on her clit as his fingers slid inside and out. She lifted her eyes to the couple next to her, just in time to see him hold the wife down as he entered her from behind. Oh my God. You shouldn't be laughing at this. She wanted a hard cock inside her, she'd whispered in the husband's ear, and he reached across the bed for a condom. They both stopped to admire their partners while he slipped it on. They listened to their moans for a moment before she told the husband to lie down. She climbed on top of him, grasping his hard cock and guiding it into... I can't read this line, this is disgusting. Guiding it into her moist, wet slit. Really? You really think I want to read this out?
Carry on. Carry on, Mrs. H.
She gasped, letting out a brief moan of her own. He was large and filled her completely. Slowly she started rocking backwards and forwards, feeling waves of excitement flow through her hot body. She found that she could lean over and kiss the wife while he was fucking her harder. She nibbled the lips at first, before grabbing her tightly and using her tongue to explore her mouth. She felt her other hand slide down her own body. She felt the husband moving in and out of her, Building to a crescendo, she began to play with herself as he did so, fingers circling her clit. Are you happy I'm saying these words? Faster and faster. Oh, wait, what? She heard a bark. What is going on? Yoko snapped back to reality. Mrs. H opened her eyes and looked over to Mr. H. Sitting there, headset off, show recorded. No wonder she had felt the tug. She smiled again. Shall we head up to bed? Oh my God.
I have literal tears rolling down my cheeks at that. Well done.
Oh my God.
You did not get through that very well at all.
No, I need a glass of wine. I have one here. Brilliant. I'm going to have a glass of wine while you drive now.
We seem to have a fly visitor
Oh
wandering,
my God.
swimming around the room. Clearly that was way too
You have no idea how
pink you've got.
how pink I've gone.
So were there any words in there that you enjoyed, dear?
There were several words in there which I really struggled to read because they were just
Were they big ones?
so alien to my normal lexicon. Such profanities.
Well, there wasn't that much profanity.
Yes, there were. There were at least 6 words that I really didn't want to read.
To be fair, I thought it was a pretty good story.
Oh, what are you going to call it?
I don't know. I have no idea. Mr. H's crescendo of naughtiness or something, perhaps.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's a very short story.
Oh, it was quite short, wasn't it?
It was not the words I want to hear, to be fair. But it was absolutely worth it to see you
God.
rolling around on the sofa trying to read this.
Yeah, and you two were rolling around laughing. I'd never seen anyone
You
laugh so
too.
much.
It was just me.
Oh.
You're right there.
Yeah, that's pretty hilarious.
You enjoyed that, did you?
Well, you did.
Did you enjoy the story though? That's what.
It was great.
It was good. Yeah.
It was a really good story. Well done.
Yeah. How many bed popper points out of 11?
A few.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid 6, maybe
Oh, would
7.
you?
Yeah, I wouldn't be too egotistical about it. We'll have to circulate it at some point if anyone has
I'm
any
glad
interest.
the heroine of the story was not left hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't think you'd want
And I'm glad you found someone that had like a decent sized cock
a decent sized cock.
to entertain me.
Oh yeah, there we go. See, you seem to enjoy it. Exactly. It's not based on real life events in any shape or form.
Well, apart from a dog turning up.
Well, that I thought was quite good.
It was pretty funny.
I like the, and I'm taking apart my own story here, the fact that it starts off in this fantasy world, or it goes to a fantasy world, and then it snaps literally very realistically back to reality.
Eminem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. and then you're like, yeah, let's go to bed. Yeah.
Well, I hope you all enjoyed that short story for your adaptation.
Yeah, I hope you did. If you want more, let us know.
Oh God, no!
And if you want to send some filthy suggestions our way, please send them to Mrs. H. Not
That
me.
was way worse than doing a chicken impression.
Oh, you're going to do the chicken impression?
No.
What?
No.
Oh, come on.
No. You've had enough entertainment out of me for one day.
So, what have we got next? We've got
A cold shower.
Well, maybe a cold shower. So, we can turn the heat up a little bit because now we've got an interview with a lovely, lovely couple that actually went out of their way to come down to visit us in our home city.
Yes.
All the way from London.
Yeah.
Who are they?
They are sharing is caring.
Yes, they are. So, we're gonna play a recording that we took before we all started drinking too much and wandering around the streets of town and and having some fun. I'm sure
We had a great night.
we had a very good night.
Yeah, they are super lovely people.
Super lovely, and we'll definitely have to see them again soon.
Excellent.
In fact, they were the first people that got Bed Hopper Glow in the Dark stickers.
Oh my God, they were.
They were literally the first.
Oh,
people.
then now you've heard me read this erotica. They may well run for the hills.
They may do. Well, next time we shall have to, because one of the things we did discuss with them was actually having a dual erotic readout between you and Cherie. So
Yes.
maybe next time we see them, hopefully there will be a next time. I'm hoping so.
Okay.
We can do that.
A collaboration
yeah.
of erotic readings.
Yes, like we'll do
From
a
myself and Cherie.
dueling naughties. Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so Mrs. H, play the interview song, which hasn't been played for fucking ever.
We've got something that's just for you. Holy shit, it's an interview.
Welcome to episode 50 of the Bed Hoppers podcast. My name's Mr. H. Over here is...
I'm Mrs. H.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You don't seem entirely
I'm in
convinced.
good spirits.
Are you in good spirits? Why's that?
I'm surrounded by very lovely people.
Are you?
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. And I have some quickie in my glass.
Really? Well, do you want to explain some of these things a little bit more?
Sure, the sun is a big round thing in the sky. It's really
Yes,
hot.
thank you.
You mean the quickie?
No?
No? Ah, okay. You want me to elucidate?
Yes.
Okay. We have with us some very lovely people. We have Kiwi and Cherie from Sharing is Caring. Is that beautifully done?
What's Sharing is Caring?
It's a podcast.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Hey guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, Mr. H and Mrs. H.
Thank you. Even though we're in your hotel room,
Welcome to your hotel room. It's very
welcome
lovely.
to our home. Hotel room home.
it feels right. It's a nice environment.
They've temporarily decamped to come and visit us.
Yeah,
so we
we've-
feel very special.
We've done what we could to make it homely by leaving socks around and the odd discarded shoe.
I think it was the condom sliding down the wall that really put me off, though, if anything.
Oh, I thought we were going to clean that off.
Like one of those weird wall walker toys from the 80s.
Where you throw them at the wall and they just
Yes,
kind of...
do you remember those? You used to throw them, and for the first half hour they were amazing because they were like out of the packet and they were sticky and they were like crawl down the wall and they were like, this is amazing, and then they were dusty and horrid.
You could wash them. You do
But
know
they
this.
were never the same again.
Were you just like washing them and applying like a Pritt stick to them just
No,
so
you're
they
supposed to wash them and then like put some talcum powder on them or something.
Do you dry them with a towel afterwards so they get covered in the fluff from the towel?
Yeah, see, this is a one-use only thing.
I think this
much
is
like the condom side. I
So
You mean you don't turn them inside out?
you can use them again, right? That's a thing. It's perfectly safe.
We're
We can't...
descending into chaos rapidly.
Well, it was always going to happen, really, wasn't it? Well, welcome to our hometown, guys. Thank you very much for joining us and inviting us diligently into your hotel room.
It's a beautiful town.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good. Right then, we'll see you all next week. Thank you for joining the...
We're off to get some dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's safe to say that we're all a little bit hungry. I think that...
Yes.
So you may hear tummy grumbles along the way.
I'm guilty.
Yeah, you are. Very guilty. We've all got a glass of wine, so we're doing quite well. We are literally in good spirits. Oh, you're looking at me to drive more, are you?
Always. You drive really well. I'll just reverse park.
We'll all follow you here.
Thank you. It's to me, my disciples. Well, firstly, guys, it would be really nice if we could find out a little bit more about you and tell listeners, if they don't already listen to you, and if they don't, they fucking well should.
Don't listen to them. They're amazing.
Yeah. So you've got a show, but what's your journey been? What's the very quick, basic overview?
The very quick basic overview. All right, so about 2.5 years ago, it has been about 2.5 years, hasn't it now?
Yeah, it has.
We first got into the lifestyle, but I would say our journey probably started about 6 to 8 months before that, when we had been together for a little while and we were starting to bring a bit of fantasy into our bedroom play, where we would talk about involving others or having others watch us. Oh.
Yes, and then one day, Kiwi decided to Google any clubs in London where we could potentially bring these fantasies to life. And he showed me the results, and that's how we got to talk about doing it for real.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was pretty quick.
Yeah, it was quick. And but we didn't regret it. It was just the right move for us.
And so you jumped in pretty much feet first?
Yes, we did. We booked our first party, and then we thought we would just go and watch what was happening and potentially have sex in front of other people. Then it turned on into a full orgy.
The best laid plans.
Wow, that did escalate rapidly.
So you went from
You went a lot faster than we did.
yeah, a lot faster. We dragged it on for about a year and a half after the
And
initial
even then we were
discussions.
like, oh my god, we're so scared.
So you kind of jumped into it, and then what's been your approach? So you're in London. Are you on any sites? Do you go to any particular parties? How do you find people?
We were not on any sites for a long time.
No, we originally signed up to Fab Swingers, but we didn't actually use it to meet anyone because we didn't want to meet people online to start with. The concept of actually online dating is not something either of us had really done much before. So we wanted to go to some parties and get to know people outside of that and then build relationships via meeting people in person, which can be quite difficult because you have to arrange to go to some of the big parties until you build that network and get invited to smaller events as well.
But I felt, I didn't feel confident with the internet dating because I felt there was too much expectation once you finally meet the person you've been chatting to online. And I didn't want to have that pressure.
So a bit like this moment then, really.
There's two strange people from the internet. We've heard them talking on this podcast, on the internet radio.
And then they're
now in a hotel room.
Yeah, a hotel with them, having drinks and recording some madness.
We've certainly moved past that now. We're on Killing Kittens is the dating website which we use.
Cool.
We've gone to quite a few meetups from there and met a few people from there. And also, actually, we've had a bit of success on Tinder. It's more something which we do from time to time is open it up, swipe right, and see where it goes. But I think probably our last 2 meetups have been through Tinder.
2 unicorns.
Well
so
played.
Do you only play
Well
as
played.
a couple?
Yes,
You
we
don't play
only
separately?
play as a couple, same room, and we're still soft swap after
I like
2.5
when you said that really
years.
quick. We're still sort of try and sing that after a glass of wine.
So Killing Kittens then. So we've not really. So I think we're on Killing Kittens, but we haven't.
set it up, but we haven't explored it, have we?
No, we've not given it a good poke yet.
Hmm.
How's that? What's that experience like?
I think it's really female empowering. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's, the parties are like women do the first move, and men are not really allowed, technically, or in theory, to approach any women.
So kind of like my normal life then, really.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you. Sorry.
And why is it called Killing Kittens?
I think it's
yes.
because they say that each time a woman masturbates, it kills a kitten. So,
Wow.
Well, that took a dark turn, didn't it?
I think the founder wanted to turn it on its head and use it as a trailblazing kind of name.
It's very interesting when we talk to people who aren't in the lifestyle and we tell them what we do and we say, oh yes, we go to these great Killing Kittens parties, and people look at us like we're these serial killers or something like that, and the conversation very quickly finishes. So now we approach it slightly differently.
You might want to expand upon how you. Yeah, Killing Kittens probably is not the phrase to use. So you're on Killing Kittens and you're kind of finding people in that way. But you also visit Cap Daj, and my pronunciation may be awful on this quite a bit.
I have so many pronunciations of that. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Or we'll ask the French person, she'll definitely have the right pronunciation.
It's Capdagged.
Cap Dagged.
Oh, we had it wrong all this time.
It's like Australian Dagdy clothes, or Daggy clothes. That's what I'm thinking.
Right, daggy?
Daggy? Is that a thing?
real
Dagdy?
daggy. That's the thing Australians say, right?
It
That's
is
daggy.
now. We're calling it.
It's like dags on the back
Oh,
of a sheep.
we're so
Yes.
veteran at Australian lingo now.
No, we're not.
That's really daggy.
I don't even remember Australia. I was so drunk throughout the course of the time.
You found a ticket stub in your jacket pocket. When was this?
Apparently we're in Australia.
I literally did this. So I had my my coat on when I was going to work the other day, and I put my hand in my coat, and I had a ton of toothpicks in there.
Toothpicks?
Toothpicks.
You're prepared.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
I was very prepared.
I know what you were.
And you know
I
exactly.
know full well what your game was, Mr. H.
It was. Look at the squinty eye on that. Jesus, wife. So the reason I had toothpicks in, because actually, I often talk about one of these toys that we've got. And you'll be probably grateful that I've not brought it with us. But we talk about the vampire glove, which is a glove that has, shock horror over there.
No,
So-
it's interesting.
Tell me more.
So it has lots of little spikes on the inside of the palm. And the idea is that you run it down someone's neck, and it causes lots of little scritches and scratches, and you run it all over them. And
Depending on the intensity which
Yeah.
you apply that.
you wouldn't necessarily want it for impact, because it would be quite horrific. You might want it to scale a wall, though. It would probably be good for that. So I was explaining this to some friends in Australia, and they were listening to me talk about it. And you can actually sort of give a mild replication of that feeling with a toothpick. So, and the reason is, so I had all these little
20 toothpicks.
Yes, like a really shitty Wolverine with lots of toothpicks in between my
I keep
fingers.
falling out.
Exactly. Well, I've spotted them everywhere. So clearly I've had my hand in my pocket, and then there's now like a trail of them from my car to work.
Various
And
demos
yeah,
with
so
toothpicks.
I'd undone the toothpick, and undoing a toothpick. Not a sentence I thought I'd give away on a podcast. And then I was scritching some ladies' necks and giving them some like scratches and trailing it down. I'm making a very sensuous movement on my own neck here. And
I'm a bit aroused over here.
Yeah, you were before we even got into the room, to be fair.
That is fair. And we're both sitting on the bed, so hello.
How many toothpicks do you have in your pocket right now, Mr. H?
I have no toothpicks on me at the
You came
moment.
ill-prepared.
I did. I didn't bring my jacket with me.
You're
Oh,
selling
you're
it so
fine.
strongly, and you're letting us down
Oh,
now.
we're
Oh.
let down.
Well,
We can only hope when we
I'll go down
for
to the
dinner
bar. I'll be
later.
back in 2 minutes.
We just need a bowl of olives, real quick.
Hold the olives.
yeah. Just a bowl of toothpicks, please, my good man. And a towel to clean up afterwards. So that is why I had them in my pocket. I don't know why I started telling that story. There was a reason for it. It's gone now. It was great though. I enjoyed sharing it.
I think it's because we were talking about dagged.
Kept that, yes.
Kept dagged. Okay. So tell us a little bit about this wonderful adventure that you've been having whilst retreating down there, I guess, in the nicest possible way.
Oh wow! We went there for the first time last year, about a year ago actually, and so it was funny because we had planned to go to the south of France for a holiday, and I thought Kiwi knew about Cap d'Agde, so I said, "Oh well, I bet you're gonna want us to go to Cap d'Agde, won't you?" And he didn't know about it, so once he googled it, he was like, "Yes, I want us to go." So we booked a couple of days first because we weren't sure we were gonna like it. Because being French, I know about it from years and years ago, and it has quite a seedy reputation. So I wasn't sure what to expect.
But to be fair, so does he. He has quite a seedy reputation.
Oh, it's made it down here, has it?
You've known him for 90 minutes, and you've already decided that.
Though, to be fair, he is pouring us a glass of wine, so I don't really want to...
is. So, I'm not going to pass any aspersions on his character right now.
At least not until you have a new glass.
That's right. I can hurl abuse now. He's filled my glass.
So once he heard about it, he obviously wants to desperately go down there. Talking about him now. I'm not going to name his name.
Yeah.
And
He's not Voldemort. Look him in the eye.
I don't think that's how it worked with Voldemort. You didn't use his name. It was you were able to look him in the eye.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm thinking of the basilisk. You can't look at them in the eye. You have to use a mirror.
This is
Corner. Yeah, see? She knows.
Welcome to Pottercast. On this week's episode, we're going to see who's better. Longbottom.
Who would win the fight, Voldemort or the Basilisk?
Oh, that's a really... But they're on the same side.
Yeah.
The basilisks have to turn on Voldemort.
Well, for now, I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but until Harry Potter's gone,
Interesting.
what happens afterwards?
Although Longbottom,
Sorry,
is,
we're getting off topic here.
really filled out now. I've seen him in some raunchy pictures, and he's
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's properly
What, Neville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is, isn't he? He's considered hot property now.
Yeah, even I'm aware of that.
Exactly. Well, we shall look at this after this, right? Right, let's continue with the Cap d'Agde.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll let Kiwi talk about it.
I
a bit.
completely forgot what you were up to.
While she Googles Neville Longbottom.
So you told me about Cap d'Agde, and I thought I'd Google it and find out what is this place. And naturally, it sounded amazing. So it's a nudist village where during summer it goes up to the population of about 40 to 50,000 people.
Wow.
Whoa, that's huge.
Yeah,
And
it is big.
they've got everything you need there to be self-sustaining. You can live there and not leave the nudist village at all. There's banks, there's a post office, there's supermarkets, bakeries, clubs,
Wow.
spas,
A lot of
everything.
restaurants.
A lot of restaurants.
Oh, so it's an actual village then that caters to what, lifestyle or
Well, originally-
nudity or
Yeah, originally it was catering to nudity, but over the last 10, 15 years or so, the lifestyle has taken over in the evenings. So during the day it is more or less properly nudist, where people walk around naked and
And
go about their
supposedly
business.
family friendly.
Supposedly
You
family
can see
friendly,
some families there with their kids during the day.
Okay.
Yes.
which is a bit odd.
weird.
Hmm.
At night, it completely changes face.
Mm.
Yeah. It turns
And
into
presumably
this-
there's no kids there then in the
Oh,
evening.
no.
Well, no. It turns into a libertine place
Right,
where
okay.
people
Mhm.
walk around in lingerie or leather or on a leash. It's really, it caters to all styles, I think.
And libertine, what does that mean?
Oh. Well,
For us non-French speakers over here.
well, that's that. In French, it's not libertine, actually, it's libertin. And it would be, it's a term that would encompass a lot of naughty activities, I suppose. As
So-
in swinging and kinks and BDSM, probably. I'm not too sure actually about its real meaning. You're putting me on the spot here.
That was a very
He
good
is.
description. Yeah.
The look on his face is really funny.
Well, I enjoyed it regardless. It was fun.
Yeah,
I like it.
that's great.
Not just a band name either.
No. Libertines, yeah.
Oh, thank you. You repeating
That's all right.
it
Yeah, no,
makes it real
just
now.
for clarity, yeah. Just for clarity. No, I genuinely did not know the origin of that word, so that's interesting.
Oh, good. Do you want to follow that up?
No?
No? Is that it? Is that
I'm
what we've
quite
got?
intrigued to go, though, so...
You should totally
Yeah.
go.
So we haven't really told you too much about what happens other than the fact that it's a village
Yeah.
where people are naked. So as Sherry was saying, during the evening it really turns into more of a libertine, lifestyle-friendly place, because it's not just for swingers. There's a lot of people who are in the BDSM community and cross-dressing. There's a big gay scene there as well. There's a bit of everything. But after dark, probably around 9 p.m. or so, when it starts to get dark, everyone gets dressed up in their Sunday best. Or not their Sunday best. But everybody gets dressed down in lingerie and sexy clothing and really to look their best and heads out. And that's when the clubs open and there's all sorts of swinger clubs, bars where there's dancing on the table, there's pole dancing where people can have a bit of interaction in front of an audience, that sort of thing.
A lot of women do a bit of stripping as well on the poles. It's quite hot.
I was still here.
I don't know.
And we need to be there.
It sounds like something you really enjoy.
I sound like or it feels like something that I might get used to very quickly. Question though, do I have to speak French? Because my French is pretty
You should
shit.
ask for a croque monsieur, maybe.
I can cope with Flight the Concorde's Faux de Fafa. I can say Dera Depadeur very well.
Gosh.
And Où est le piscine, and probably that limits where I went.
So you could ask for a ham sandwich and a bottle of Orangina.
Yes, that's where my knowledge stops.
I think you'd get by.
You think?
All right. Yeah.
We've met couples over there who didn't speak French, so I think you can go there not speaking French, like the Brazilians.
Yeah, that's a good point. You will be able to go to the resort and have a lot of fun, have a great time if you don't speak French. It will probably mean that you do have to try some different sorts of techniques to get to know people.
Like speaking louder. The
Exactly.
traditional English message of a way of communicating with people who don't speak your language.
Like French kissing. Ah.
A bit of sexy shimmying when you're looking at someone.
Shimmying.
We saw a profile just I digress, but often I do. On a profile last night that said they allowed kissing but no French kissing.
Yes, I said that.
Yeah.
So you're out.
I can't kiss.
Sorry.
For me.
No French kissing. Absolutely not. That is terrible.
But there was like 3 lines to this entire profile.
But
this is on
normal
Fab
kissing
Swingers.
is allowed.
Normal kissing is absolutely
But normal
fine.
kissing is French kissing.
Well,
Well, that was
you
my.
should message them and find out for clarity what.
Yeah,
you
but
mean by this.
they allowed anal. they allowed.
Right, hang on.
They allowed like oral.
So you can have anal, but no French kissing.
Maybe that's why French kissing is
That's
bad.
way too
Yeah.
intimate.
Well,
No.
No.
to be fair, if you've done anal and then you're like kissing them, well, you never got
No.
out to mouth, right?
But you didn't mention rimming, so I mean, they didn't.
Ooh.
That wasn't
Do they
clear on
allow
the
rimming
profile.
in their profile?
I, to be honest, I didn't go that deeply into
If
the
they're
profile.
listening to
Unless
this
you're
right
French
now, could you
kissing,
just
yeah.
clarify? Anal's fine, but no kissing.
Which would make a great T-shirt. Can we get that? Can that be our next merch? Oh, speaking of merch, we've got glow in the dark
good
stickers.
grief. Like we needed another platform for your merch.
No, we needed glow in the dark stickers.
And you have them today.
They turned up in the post today,
Glorious day.
and I've left them in the sunlight for like 5 minutes.
You're not
so
even
that-
joking, are you?
No,
You
I'm
genuinely
really
have.
not. The first thing, so this morning,
Oh
Mrs.
my
H came
gosh.
upstairs today, and she was like, "This is yours," with the most sort of derogatory sort of, what the fuck have you been buying now? Sort of slinging of the post at me in
What,
bed.
with the do not bend envelope? that
Yeah,
was clearly
because you
your-
know,
I
you knew what it was.
Yeah.
And I was like a child at Christmas. I tore through this envelope, and lo and behold, the bed hopper glow in the dark stickers were there.
So you were less excited that I appeared naked at your bedside, holding the post, but more what was in the post.
So the first thing I did was turn away from my wife and go under the covers so that I could see my stickers glowing.
You are a bad man, Mr. H. You will be whipped by Hades in your afterlife. I
You
swear
stay
to
there,
God.
hold that thought. I'm going under the blankets.
Yeah. It was very much that. It was good fun. And they do glow in the dark. And the more you leave them in the sun, the more they glow at night.
Just like me.
What?
I hope they work out for you. I really do.
This feels
I hope
harsh.
you and your stickers will be really happy.
Honey, not in front of the guests. Not in front of the kids, dear. Let's keep this all above board. It's all fine. So, Cap then has been quite an adventure, and you've gone back since the first time.
Well, I lump it all into the one first time because we went for 2 days because we had booked our holiday, just the first half. And then we went somewhere else in the south of France and we had the rest of the holiday free. And we decided, oh, well, let's go back. So 2 days later, we went back. So I'm not sure if it's a second time or still part of the first
It counts
time.
as the second. We left.
Nah.
Yeah,
We left for 2 days, came back. And we've booked it for later this year in August.
August. So August is the time to go then, really.
Well, we went in June and it was still, it was not high season. And we've been told that the population there is better in high season, as in more people, younger crowd. So we want to try that.
Good
More
weather?
libertine.
Good weather, I guess. Yeah.
Libertine is dialed up to like 85-90% of it.
Exactly. People
Yeah.
put lights around their rooms and have parties and open them up to everybody rather than just being half of libertine and nudists.
Okay. So,
You
when
really want to come now, don't you?
well, not immediately. Give me a few minutes and I'll be there. It would be lovely to explore. I think it sounds like an interesting place. I think for us, it's the trying to get travel sorted out is always a challenge, and it's trying to balance the going to faraway places with the just having regular days off. But
I think it's definitely on the list. We've flirted with the idea in the past, haven't we?
we've flirted with a lot of things, dear.
Well, we have. I've heard good things about it, so I'm definitely not opposed to the idea of going.
No. Right, let's book some August time. We have no holiday left after Australia, though. That's our so we have time
Spaffed
booked
it all
away
on Australia, didn't you?
Well, we're going to Mexico in November, which will be interesting. So we're going to the Swing Set Takes Over to Desire trip for a week then.
I've been wanting to go to that for the last 2 years. Ever since I've started listening to Life on the Swing Set, it sounds amazing.
Well, join us. Come on.
Yeah.
One of us.
Going in November.
You can do 2 holidays. You've not mentioned the lack of holiday days at all.
And it's going to be near my birthday, so you never know.
Well, no, we'll keep plying you with drink until you commit and sign up. We'll get them so drunk that
We'll just get them hammered and later on we'll be like, I'm going to book it now.
Why are we missing like $8,000 in our bank account? And why?
Wow, are they booking like some executive room or something?
I don't know. I don't know
Not
how
that
much it costs. So
It's not that bad.
Oh, okay. But yeah, come with us to Mexico. It'd be fun. So then at some point, you guys are almost on track. Look at that, like a mindset. You decided to start a podcast and talk about your adventures. What was the driving force?
So we've really enjoyed listening to other podcasts. We found it so useful and just interesting to find other people's journeys and experiences. And it sounds a bit cheesy, but it really made us feel like we weren't in this journey alone. It felt like we could really connect to the podcasters on almost a personal level just by hearing about what they're doing and their experiences as well. And that's something which we found really engaging, empowering. So we wanted to try and share our journey in the hopes that some people might be able to get some sort of interest out of that. And also we like the sound of our own voice.
I know
Speak
that
for
feeling very well.
Very important point, absolutely. Yeah, so does Mr. H. Yeah. What?
What?
No, wait, what?
No, I have been on show recorded saying I do love the sound of my own voice. It's very true. But I also like the sound of other people's voices, which is fine.
That is very true.
It's not all about me, although it mostly is.
Really? Are you sure? You
Yeah.
have a t-shirt with that on it.
Well, that it's all about me.
Yeah.
I don't think I do I?
Well, you should have.
Maybe that's the next
I will
t-shirt.
make you one.
The next Bed Hoppers merch is a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt
Oh my
that says
God.
it's all about
It's
me.
all about me.
It must glow in the dark, unless it's that, or metallic. I've got to escalate.
A metallic t-shirt.
Yes.
Oh, good grief.
I'm just thinking like some armour now. You're getting a full plate armour
Like
that you're
Mithril.
wearing.
That would be good, yes. I'll have a full stormtrooper /
This has taken a really strange turn.
It has,
Fine. So you're going to make yourself a full suit of armour that says it's all about me.
Yes.
Right. And
It
it's going to
sound-
be glow in the dark.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Anything else?
It's gonna... Look, ladies will flock to see
Are you
it.
sure? They will fall about laughing, maybe.
It might do, and it might take them 25 minutes to get me out of the
Actually
fucking
get
thing.
you out of it, yeah.
So,
God help me if you get an erection in it.
well, I'm going to build that in.
Wow.
It's one of the measurements that I'm taking just to make sure that it works. So, guys, we do have to go for something to eat soon. So, we'll let listeners into the fact that we are going for a meal together. How delightful and hopefully naughty. And some drinks as well.
Right.
I'm upgrading this flight as we go.
Right.
I am. So, where in the world can people find you? How do they get hold of you?
So you can find our podcast. It's called Sharing and...
What's it called? Come on.
Come on.
One job.
Spit it out. Come on.
One job.
Who's been feeding me so much wine when I haven't eaten?
You've had like 2 glasses.
Oh shit, that was me.
And a protein bar.
So you can find our podcast. It's called Sharing is Caring. We're on most podcast platforms. If we're not, please send us an email and tell us so we can actually go onto those platforms now. You can find us on Twitter at Kiwi and Sherry. That's all one word. You can also email us at kiwiandsherry@gmail.com.
I think that's all. That's all where we are at the moment.
You don't accept pigeon or
Oh,
owl?
yeah, send us a pigeon. I'd be happy to receive a pigeon.
Or an
That'd be
owl.
fun.
An owl.
Via Neville Longbottom.
If you can see a Neville and an owl, we will be very, very happy.
Oh yeah, we'll have to look at him over dinner.
You'll never get those things
A
back.
little stalk.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. And if anyone does want to get in touch with us, well, you know where to do it. I'm sure I'll
Or
do
needs a good supply of cocktail sticks.
No, they've all fallen out of my pocket. I can't be held responsible for the cocktail stick shortage of Great Britain. It's
Glow in the dark stickers.
that I may be responsible for. And just to say, when you turn your hotel room light off at night, there may be a number
my
of stickers
God.
placed around the room.
Close the curtains now to see.
We should do that. Or we could go under the covers and have a look.
And on that note, I think we should go and get dinner.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Wade wide Pokemon, Yoko with the condoms, flying metal death sausage, on it like a tramp on chips. Babylon's hot as balls, I can't back that up at all. Bark, 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 this is just the tip. Drinking with our chums all night, we can't ever get it right. Doing shots and cutting hair, honey butter and underwear. We didn't write the music, but we tried to play it and we did abuse it. We've done 50 shows now, but we're quite excited, we won't try to hide it. Finn and Emma, SDU, Bob and Nikki, our friends too. By the by and stopping by and sitting on our lap. Lolo, lady, gentleman, Kiwi, Sherry, Rich, Lauren, swinging out west, Simon, Slut, Mr. Kitty is our cat. Naughty Rocket still to do, this is why we welcome you. Labyrinth and Bumblebee, there's so much for you to see. We didn't write the music, but we tried to play it and we did abuse it. We've done 50 shows now, but we're quite excited, we won't try to hide it. Muppets, Fraggles, Yoda sick, we are on a health kick. Chunder Muffin special brew, finger blasting by Mox 2. Silly voices playing games, getting match that isn't lame. Body crisis, new tattoo, Mr. H is yours to bruise. So many things that we have seen, nobody has this clever pen. It's getting hard for this to rhyme, no wonder that it's hopping time. We didn't write the music, but we tried to play it and we did abuse it. We've done 50 shows now,